evening to one and all. We, the students of the Vinod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur, are extremely privileged to host Mr. B.L. Mittal, founder and executive chairman at sastasundar.com for yet another edition of its online leadership talk series, Vakya. A fellow of ICAI, Mr. Mittal has more than 2 decades of rich industrial experience in financial services and nurturing business growth. An entrepreneur with strong teaching and networking abilities, Mr. Mittal went on to co-found Sastasundar.com, aimed at availing high-quality medicines, healthcare, healthcare products, and services to make life simple and happy for the multitude, using knowledge and digital connectivity. It is an honor to host you today, sir. And without any further delay, I would like to request our esteemed guest to kindly address the participants on the topic building Atmanirbhar businesses. Over to you, sir.
Much. Thank you, all of you, to give me this wonderful opportunity to have this interactive session on building Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, Atmanirbharta I take from self sustainability, and for self sustainability, uh, I'll relate rather than from what I gain from my books and from my studies. I relate this rather I personally experience while building the businesses. So this story will be more practical oriented. Feel free to ask me any questions and feel itself as if you are going to found a great business tomorrow. So I'll start that. To understand better, I'll tell you a few minutes about sastasundar.com and why the sastasundar.com. So Sasta Sundar is the Indian connotation, as you all are aware. It means affordable and high quality. So everybody wants Sasta and Sundar. So Sasta Sundar story correlates with my father. He was diagnosed with diabetes at the age 52 years. He used to go to hospitals to take some medicines. On taking some medicine, his symptoms disappeared and he thought his diabetic is cured. And at 58 years, his kidney was failed. 62 years, he died. And this story you can correlate to each one of us. You can correlate in our neighbor, you can correlate in our villages. And you will find that 65% of Indian population don't have access to affordable, genuine healthcare. And this position is with respect to the fact that we are one of the largest producer of medicine in the world. As you have seen in COVID-19, any invention of any medicine all over the world, be in Japan, be in America, be it Russia, within 15-20 days, our drugs companies make them available. Whatever medicine, be Remdesivir, be it HQC, any medicine, we are able to do that. We are able to supply the vaccine to all over the world in 1 month once the approvals are ready. We are the second largest producer of vegetable in the world. We are the largest producer of the milk. We are the country and origination of yoga. We have Ayurveda in our hand to build the immunity and such a great talent of pools. So one side there is ample of resources, and second side our population is suffering, and we have 25 crore people suffering from either of the chronic disease, be it obesity, be it diabetic, and be it hypertension. So these, where is the problem? So if you study in detail, then you'll find that the problem is not of resources. We have ample resources. Problem is efficient database distribution system, whereby there is lack of equitable distribution among the population. We can't reach in a efficient manner. That leads to the fact that 25% of medicine distributed in India are fake and counterfeit. The wellness product chain is at all not established. The 50% of the prescriptions are written by the doctors who are not qualified as doctor. 30% of the prescriptions are being written by the people who have not even passed the secondary examinations. So this entire problem of connectivity and efficient distribution system can be solved by the digital technology. But however, the healthcare is not just digital technology. People don't believe on app, they don't buy medicine and they don't consult doctors on app. So what we did, we created a ecosystem which we borrowed from the polio eradication system, where the local support system was created in each locality and that was connected with centralized resources. So we created centralized warehouse which we call ALC, Area Logistics Center, that was connected to the localized health centers. We partnered the local people to whom we call the health buddy. So this is the entire ecosystem has been wonderfully well or experimented in West Bengal. So this is not only a business for me, but this is my personal mission, and I built it as my own resources practically for all. And for that, I earned first in 2002. I decided that one day I'll solve this problem, but this required huge capital and efficiency. I come from a very middle class family, so I don't have that much of resources. So I first earned the resources, and then I developed this company. I sold my profitable business just to promote this company, and this company is solving, and I am 100% sure that next 5 years you'll reach out to Pen India to solve this one of the biggest problem of India, that is access to genuine healthcare in affordable category. So, guys, I am telling you about business and which is self-sustainable business, which is Atmanirbhar business, and how to found that. I'll correlate with my stories from my own experiences from time to time. So there are two important points of this aspect. One is sustainable, and one is self-sustainable. This is the difference. Every business on face of it sustainable. If it can sustain, if the business is making losses, if somebody puts capital, it can sustain, it can sustain, it can sustain. Like Jet Airways, it sustained for so many years till they were able to find the capital. Like ILFS, it sustains long period till it were able to attract the capital. So many companies, as long as they attract the capital, as long as they attract the attention, they may sustain. Second point is self-sustainable means the business, if you reference to COVID-19, any business which can save itself from by its own immunity is self-sustainable. So any business which you found and with an idea of self-sustainability, then create that immunity within that. How to build that immunity so that you don't need oxygen from outside. So the benefit of self-sustainable business is that the founders always control the business. The founders can align the business with their dreams. So I have a dream to solve this problem of healthcare. But tomorrow, if I to attract more and more capital, if I come into non-controllable equity, then new guys will just sell this business to somebody else. Like Flipkart was sold, like any other companies are sold. Then my purpose of solving this problem get diluted. So that is not sustainability. And then sustainability means you have a space for collaboration which are aligned with your purpose, which are aligned with your motive to fund the business, with your motive to work for the business. The limitation of is that sometimes it builds our confidence because we become habituated to look the business from self-centered objective, self-centered missions, and that builds our confidence. And sometimes in the our confidence measures, we normally overlook our own efficiency. So just to save, the limitation of this concept is to save ourselves from the overconfidence. Now, what is self-sustainability? Self-sustainability is not that you don't take capital from outside, but only difference is that you take the capital, but the outside capital should not be the reason for your failure. It means you have a business. Tomorrow you want to grow the business with outside capital, with venture capital. It's okay, perfect. You take the capital, grow as far as high as you want to. But only reason is that suppose tomorrow the capital is not coming. Suppose there is nobody to fund your business for next 1 year or 1.5 year or 2 years. Then that non-coming of the capital should not be the reason of failure. If that is the reason of a failure, if that fresh capital is the oxygen, then your business is not dependent upon your own immunity, but it depends upon outside. That business you should avoid. Then self-sustainability does not mean that you don't collaborate with others, but self-sustainability means you collaborate with others, and that must lead to new area of the growth. So suppose I am working in a particular field, and if I collaborate with some company or something new, if I partner with something new, that partnership I am diluting my ownership, I am diluting something of my own, and that must lead to the existing growth rate, so that the new horizon is open. Self-sustainability does not mean that you don't buy new technologies, but the new technologies should be led by your own ecosystem. It should not be happen that the new technology comes and your ecosystem get the back footed. If that is required, then you are not running a sustainable business. And self-sustainability business does not mean that you don't hire new leadership team, but it only means that the new leadership team which is coming to your business, which is coming on board, finds same value as you are running your business, so that it is a self-sustainable. It has its own color, it has its own dreams, and its mission is not diluted. So self-sustainability does not mean lacking of growth. It does not stop any new initiative. It does not stop any new dreams, any new collaboration, any new capital, any new technology. But it simply means that the new venture or new collaboration, new capital is not the oxygen of your business, but it must lead to something new marathon for your business that is very powerful for your growth. So now these are the basic things of self-sustainability. Then the principal question comes in that how to build this self-sustainable business, this Atmanirbhar business. So, the concept is very, very simple. I found from my own experience that in this entire life, if you see around you, then child is the most self-sustainable. A child is always happy, he's sustainable, he grows every day. So always be a child. Keep inside the child. You more you learn, more you think about non-sustainability. More you become elder, you become more unsustainable. So keep that child within you alive always to be sustainable. So there are four features of that childhood. One is the innovation, that everything. If you give a fire to the child, he will keep his hands on it. If you give the water, he will try to put himself in the water without any fear, without anything else. So he always find new thing in a very, very high curiosity. So always keep your mind and thinking process as innovative as possible. Second thing, the how the child take the risk. He jumps on the bed, he goes on the road, he comes in front of the buses. How he does? Simple concept is that he has built people around him who are emotionally connected with him, like his mother, like his dad, like his brother, like his sisters. He knows that if he has any problem, his mother will come, his uncle will come, his children will come, his sister will come, and they will save him. So that emotional connects makes him risk free, and it takes all risk of innovation. Similarly, you should build that emotional connect of the people around you, of your co-founders, of your employees, of your customers. That emotional connects, if you are able to build, then you are through. Then one very important lesson from child we learn is the non-discrimination. The discrimination policy, if you have an organization in any relationship, in any dealing, that will lead to disruptions. So always follow like a child. He never discriminate among his friends, who is what caste, what religion, what age, what sex, he does not know. He freely plays with everybody, every friends with same question, without their economic background or without anything else. He sees every friend with an equal eyes. So that non-discrimination you should always have to build a Atmanirbhar business. And then one very important aspect is grow every day. If you scale children on a wall, then you will find that child grows every day, even by a little of the centimeters, but he grows. The Once the child really stops, his growth also stops. So don't allow your business not to grow, but always remember that every of your business grows even by a piece of centimeter every day. So this is the first and foremost things of your attitude is about uh, sustainable business is that keep your child inside alive, thrive, and ongoing. Then second aspect, I learned from my father. The my father, when I came from Rajasthan, from a village Dhaka, district Sikkar, it's a government school. I was from a Hindi medium school, so I came to Calcutta to do my CA course. My father was capable, so he told me that, look, I can give you the money for your CA study, but I will not give you. You need to take care of your own expenses. This is so simple. It's not that I don't have money, I have, but I don't want to give. You be self-sustained. You be Atmanirbhar. So at that point of time, we used to stay in Bada Bazaar. Bada Bazaar is an area where you will find lot of food dabas. They serve you food on monthly basis, and the cost of that daba was 1,800, and other expenses, the total expenses was 3,500. I used to do the articleship in one CA firm. And at that point of time, I was knowing accountancy. So if I join the service, I can earn 3,500. It is the matter of 1989. So, but then articleship I have to do for my CA course. Then what was the chances? Chances was only that I was only having Saturday and Sunday to work with. And Saturday, Sunday, 2 days, nobody is going to pay me 3,500, which were required to maintain myself as become Atmanirbhar. So one day I saw an advertisement in Hindi newspaper. The advertisement was required Hindi typist. I went for an interview. There is a Jalan Industrial Corporation. So I found that it is a Bengali base. There are no Hindi typists, but I was from a Hindi background, so I was knowing Hindi typist. So I was only one person who appeared for interview. They selected me immediately that, Mr. Mittal, we have to write so many letters in UP and VR. You join from tomorrow. There are problem of correspondence. I mean, sir, I can't join you full time. I can come on Saturday and Sunday, and I'll charge you 3,500. And this is the reason I'll charge. He jumped on chair. Oh, how can we pay you? You are simply typist 3,500. I'm going. I'm not interested. I can't leave my articles. Then he was cooled down, and we sat together and we found the way that he gave me a Hindi typist. Said, okay, Mr. Mittal, you take this typewriter at your home. We are not concerned at what time you are coming or what time you are going. We are concerned about the letters. We need or type letter every day. So I used to come from office in evening, go to his office, collect the letters, go to my home, type the letters, and tomorrow morning before going to office, delivered all the letters. This arrangement 3 years went very well, and I made my money to be CA. I was CA, perfectly okay, and he was happy. I was happy. Everybody was happy. The learning was from that aspect is that always do something which are high in demand and low in supply. So create your own blue ocean. That is a single second sentence I want to tell you about creating a sustainable business. Your ecosystem should have its own blue ocean, which is not easily to replicate, which is not easily open for competition, but it should create its own value. Like, Hindi typing, very, very simple. In Rajasthan, you will find 1,000 rupees per month, you'll get lot of Hindi typists. But in Bengal, it is lacking supply. In Bengal, there are very few people who can type it, and he was needed it. So I was the only person. So he was ready to negotiate with me my deal, and I got it. Simultaneously, in year 2000, I decided to become an investment manager. That investment banking means I have to pitch for loan syndicates, I have to pitch for equity. Then people need to share their data, and then you need reputation. So first three customers becomes very, very important for any investment banking firm to open, because they get your reference point. So how to do about that? Then I first learned that in Calcutta there are small medium organizations. They are very fond to save the tax. If I go to them, that I tell them that okay, I'll bring a public issue, I can raise capital for you, I can raise private equity for you, I can arrange loan for you. They will be not interested. But I can go that look, you are paying 5 crore tax, I plan it properly, you need to pay only 4 crores. 1 crore I'm saving. They will allow me the entry immediately. That is the immediate gain. So for opening the investment banking firm, I took training in Birlas for 8 years for taxation. I first learned the taxation before learning investment banking. Learning taxation, I became master of tax planning, and then I went to houses, made them presentation of taxation, saved their taxation. Once I built the relationship, then I started investment banking. The investment banking was my back of the mind, but my blue ocean was taxation, because I was innocent banker with deep knowledge of taxation, and that allowed me to build the relationship which were required for investment banking. So very important point for your blue ocean is that you must be able to build something which is very unique and which is not easy to replicate. Unique does not mean that unique in scientific regions or unique in technology. No, uniqueness means in the map of demand supply, your supply should be less than demand, so that you can negotiate prices, you can dominate the market. That is the idea, whatever little it be. So whatever you things you do, there should be demand supply gap equilibrium, you should be master of that. So that is how I build this story of typist and financial services, and I learned that whenever you want to create your business, create your blue ocean with that. Red ocean is a thing where you will face lot of competition. You will be always be dependent on others. Like Sassa Sundar, the blue ocean is that we are the most efficient in terms of cost and in terms of consumer experience, because we built along with our digital platform the local support which we call Health Buddy. Taken together, it created such a solid blue ocean that it becomes the lowest cost operator. And lowest cost operator in retailing is the single foremost contributing factor, because in retailing people will buy once you are able to offer more discounts. If you are able to offer more discounts, you are able to save your cost. This is so simple. So second very important point for all of you is that whenever you found the business, whenever you work upon your ideas, always think that where is that blue ocean? And that does not mean that that will come from sky, that you need innovators, you need Nobel Prize. No, it may be as simple as Hindi typist. It may be as simple as text clubbing of taxation and investment banking, and it may be as simple as clubbing of digital plus offline to create your own blue ocean. And if you find so many things in our own contemporary arrangement, that so many companies have been successful by creating their own blue ocean in Indian market by way of reputation, by way of something unique offering, by way of technology, or by any means else. We will discuss specific examples going forward. Third, very important point for creating self-sustainable businesses: think big but act small. Lot of people make a mistake. So to do everything today, nothing will happen today. Any business will require long time. You all must be knowing about Kautilya Chanakya, that how he defeated the kingdom of Magad and his own Shishya Chandragupta won the game. But you also must be knowing that it took 25 years for Chanakya to prepare Chandragupta. It took him from his childhood in his ashram, prepared him, lost so many battles, and then ultimately won. So 25 years of preparation make him win out of Magad. So his thinking was very big, that one day I'll establish the Akhand Bharat. But he acted very, very small portion. So always plan big, that okay, you will open this big company, you will open this big company. Act very, very small, so that your sustainability becomes more affordability. Because if you grow very fast, tomorrow you'll need capital. That becomes, if capital is not coming, you will fall down. So that is compromising of your own Atmanirbharta, own self-sustainability. So always think that, like in Indian market, if you compare two companies, two very great companies, I have deep respect for both the companies, but you compare what happens. One is Flipkart and one is DMart. So almost similar site, you can 5 years before DMart started, 5 years after Flipkart started. But DMart today is a $10-15 company. Founder owns 80% of equity, running fully control of their mission, fully control of their business. Flipkart founder have to sell their businesses for $2 billion. It's a great company, but at the end of the day, they lost the business. The DMart is still thriving, 5 times bigger net worth than a Flipkart founder. Why? Because they acted small and they saved their equity with same thinking, same business retailing, but act small and big, thinking big. How it does make difference. Second company you can find out, one is Paytm and one is Bandhan Bank. Take example of Bandhan Bank. They also are into financial service thinking very big. Paytm is also in financial service thinking very big. One is thinking big, acting fast. One is thinking big, acting small. You will find the difference in two balance sheets. You will find the difference in their ownership. You will find the control of the mission. You will find the control of the vision. You will find where the promoters and founders stage and how does it looks like that, and what is the vulnerability and sustainability of the businesses. So this is very, very important, that think big and act small. Fourth point I want to stay is again a very, very important point, is that always stay away from noises. Noises create biggest distraction, because noises happens if you'll find any news in CNBC or any economic times, this got funding, this got funding, this got funding. In real terms, don't distract your mind from these noises. because noises will kill your dreams. So I'll tell you one very good observation from India. Indian literature is very, very solid literature. You will find everything. So there is a lokokti in India, northern India, which say, Hati Takako, elephant for rupees one. So this story goes on from a village, where one businessman's cashier one day came from the market and told that Sethji, there is one elephant which is for sale for only rupees one in the market. Sethji can't believe, say, you are telling false, Mohan. It is not possible. How? Hathi must be some defective. He must be sick. Then he told, no, sir, he's very good. You just come with me. He's like Lord Ganesha. They both went into the market and found that it was a beautiful elephant and it was selling only for rupees one. Then businessman thought for 1 minute and told Mohan that, Mohan, no, we will not buy it. And Mohan was disturbed, but at coming to shop, he asked that, Sethji, once you tell me that why you have not bought, what I will do? I can pay 1 rupees for buying the elephant, but when it comes to my place, I have to arrange his food. It will take cost of rupees 100 per day. Who will bear that? So this is the noise of buying the asset or not. But after operating expenses, one has to do, well, what is the use of that elephant to our business? What value it takes? So always avoid noises, because the noises disrupt your plans. It disturbs your own economy, and it disturbs your own mission. So keep your mission away from noises. Don't distract from noises. Keep your eyes, listen everything, but don't get distracted from the noises. And you will find so many noises. Your competitors, your fellow guys, your associates got funding, this funding, this funding, this funding. Nothing will happen with this funding. Once you build business, choose your own path. Don't keep your eyes on other noises, but keep your eyes on your own solid business. Then one very important lesson I learned from my own business is that always keep eyes on your cash flow. Value is different and cash flow is different. Suppose your business is valued for 1 billion, but it can go insolvency just for rupees 100 crores, because cash flow is no relevance with value. So there is again a very good lokokti from Indian northern market, particularly from Rajasthan. I tell you, there is one very good story behind it. The Tivda me pani, now lekha layer money. This is. It means that there is water in desert, and that was sold for 1 million ornaments. How that happened? There was one person who was traveling to deserts, and his water got finished. He was wearing a ornament which was valued at $1 billion, and then he found a girl who was having water. He asked to that girl that, beta, my daughter, give me this water. Then daughter asked him, look to his eyes, then, okay, uncle, I can give you, but I will charge you $1 million. And that fellow has to pay for a glass of water $1 million, because there was no other water. And the life is most precious, valuable. So that glass of water is the liquidity in your business. So you may be worthy of billions of dollars. Your company may be valued for billions. But at a time, once you don't have the cash flow in your business, or if you don't have hard cash, you may have to lose your entire business or your entire mission. So always dealing the value of the business from the existing cash flows. Cash flow is, oh, my business is valued for 100 crores. My business is valued for 500 crores. I will not dilute. I will not do this. I will not. No. There is no relevance of the value. There is relevance of the hard case which your business has for run the business. So always keep eyes on your cash flow. Never lose eyes out from the cash flow, because if you don't control the cash flow properly, the Atmanirbharta is just a dream. It will not come. Then the sixth lesson which I learned is, they always keep balance in resources. Business is not a one-side game, or it's not a one-coin game. It has several dimensions. It has several assets. So again, I will tell you the very, very, see, these are our Indian management system, which are very good. So again, I'm telling you very powerful lokokti out of resources. It says, एक पूंजी जमी दो बार, एक पूंजी जमी दो बार, तीन गुणी यश discharge. एक पूंजी means capital one. So your business should have the capital which is equal to the requirement, no less, no more. Jami do bar. So if you need a land, earlier days if land was the infrastructure, so land should be double to your requirement, because tomorrow if you are going to buy the land, you may not get the side by land. So land should be double. Teen guni, intelligence technology should be projected for 3 times. So if you are developing an app, always keep in your mind that for 3 times requirement of your consumer, your backbone should be ready. Otherwise, you will find that all of the day the consumers are coming and your site is crashing. So the capacity should be 3 times. And yes, discharge. Yes means goodwill. Marketing should be around the globe. So I'll again read it. एक पूंजी जमी दो बार, तीन गुणी yes discharge. The capital should be one equal to the business. Land should be twice. Infrastructure should be twice. Intelligence and technology should be thrice, and marketing should be all around the corner. So this is what the balancing of the resources. If you disbalance is you take more working capital, or you don't build your infrastructure, or you don't scale your intelligence, and if you don't market all out, then there is imbalances in the resources, and that may compromise your own atmanirbharta, your own sustainability. Then the seventh point which I understood is understand value. So this value game is a very, very powerful. There are two values. One value is personal, and one value is the business, which we call as the core value of the business. So one, you must define the value, that what are your personal value and what are your business value, because brand travels from your personal value to business and business value to person. Company is known for first 5 years by the personal brand of the promoters, by the personal brand of the founders. So you should define that what is the core value of your person as a person, and what is the core value of the business. Like Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they define as ethics as their core value. And how it helped, because again, that data sharing, they were primarily dependent upon overseas customers. And overseas customers don't share the data until and unless they believe on your ethics that my data are safe, my records are safe, my informations are safe, and there is full protection to privacy. And that helped these companies to build the IT system on emphasis on their core value of being integrated and ethical companies. So any company which drives from its core value loves the business, and which stick to its core value builds the business. Like, if you find that Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani, both the cases, Anil Ambani took their power company to in 2008 and issued millions of shares to the public. Public lost their money. So he compromised the value of the Ambani family that rewarded the shareholders, and that one compromise finished him. Second hand, Mukesh Ambani always kept the retail shareholders in mind and always built the business into the value, and that is how he is rewarded. There are thousands of examples where you will find that for short-term gains, if anybody compromises core value, then the business goes for the toss. And if anybody affix on its core value, like these great companies, Infosys, Wipro, TCS, affix on ethics, and then they were able to build the great businesses out of that, and without any doubt. Then the next point is very, very important, is that, in spite of all the efforts, one thing always remember, that death is inevitable. Whatever you do, one thing is sure, that is death. Every business which is born has to die. So whenever any situation comes in, accept that. Don't put your own purpose with the business. Love the soul, not the body. So soul is your core value. Body is your business format. You may find after 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 4 years, that 4 things you did. 2 things are not working. The things which are not working is your dead body. And your value is your soul. So love your soul, not body. So body you may require to change, you need to bury it, you need to go throw away in the sky, whatever you do. Don't never love the body, love the soul. And you will, and if anything come which is you find that is not aligned to your core value, is not aligned to your purpose, don't delay, because any delay will increase the cost and will increase your nirbharta on others, your dependence on others, because as slim you are, as focused you are, your Atmanirbharta, your sustainability will increase manifold. So always remain focused on your core value, and wherever side by side, you'll find that something is not working, just cut and throw away it. Don't love that. And then 9 point is that always measure milestone. Any great journey, suppose you are going from Calcutta to Bombay, in between Nagpur will come. Always remember. Otherwise, I have seen that people see a long term ho jayega, long term ho jayega. That no long term never comes. So they are not measuring short term. Long term, one thing is sure, that is death. So everything will get finished in long term. But if you are traveling after 2 years, some milestone will come. So that long term you always define in 1 week, 15 days, 1 month, and always measure that this is the goal of 1 year. This 1 week has gone. So whether we have achieved this 1 week or today is gone. So whatever today's agenda, whether we have achieved. So plan for long term, act upon short term, and measure every milestone. That is very, very important for your business. And then 10th point, which is the last point before our introduction, is that always measure your intangibles. Just don't measure your tangibles, because intangibles are more valuable than tangibles. So your goodwill, your marketing, your technology, your ecosystem, which are part and parcel of your intangibles, are much, much more valuable. So whatever you are doing, you value. And again, I'm coming to that point of desert water, that value the intangibles in terms of the cash flow. Don't value the intangibles based on paper report, multiple of GME, this will lead to nowhere. But measure that what you have created, and this of particular my ecosystem will be able to generate this particular cash flow out of my own dreams. So this is the lesson which I have learned from my own business to create sustainable business. I've noted down and try to explain you. Now I'll request you to ask me the question so that I can narrate you more purposefully. Questions, please.
Yes, sir. So usually the questions are posted in the chat window. Students have started posting their questions. As soon as the questions pop up, either you can check it in the chat window itself, or I'll read out the questions for you.
Okay. So I mean, then I should continue with whatever I'm speaking. Please let it be an interactive session so that I can address more which you wanted to know rather than I'm telling from my
Sure,
side.
sir.
So I would request all the students to please uh, post the question so that I can be very, very specific, because from here, what is the next, how to build upon that. I'll tell you that what is next step for you.
Sure, sir. You can continue with that, and as soon as the questions pop up,
Okay.
I'll just intimate
That's
you.
fine. So the students, the next question that you are into campus, you are under study. So all these big things at one place, it will take some amount of time to capture, to understand, and to act upon that. The principal question for all of you is, what is the next step for you? How to go about and how to take that next step. Then next step is sustainability, and the next step is the finding that core value. Then I was into government school. So what was useful for me was very little skill which I was knowing, and why I was unique into that. So my only purpose for all of you is that you develop that sustainability uh, inside you, and develop that one skill that can generate lot of cash for you, and that can generate lot value for you. So while you are studying, focus on your general studies. For one thing out of that entire syllabus, choose whereupon you are the master, and nobody else can beat you. So any subject, any topic, any one single subject, you should be the master of that. That should be your target, and that should be your purpose. So I got a question. Question is that, what inspired you to build Sasta Sundar, and what were the major challenges you faced while merging e-commerce and affordable healthcare? Very, very important. So Sasta Sundar inspired is my own story, that my father died because of lack of medicine. My mother was sick because of lack of consistent supply of the medicine and healthcare. And I myself got obesity because nobody told me about yoga. I got diabetes because at 30 years nobody taught me the nutrition. So and this I got it once I become 40 years, I understand it. So I reverse my diabetes. I'm now on the way to reverse my obesity. And I lost my father, but I got again my mother made again healthy. But that took a lot of time and lot of energy. And this was such a simple thing that in spite of having lot of resources, the distribution is the only problem. So I took up this challenge and I started the Sastra Sundar. So my only inspiration of Sastra Sundar is that I am able to solve this problem of India and provide access to genuine healthcare to my Indian fellows. And challenges, yes, the challenges comes because I have from my basic attitude, I am a Atmanirbhar business guy. So I try to run a sustainable business. The challenge come from the lot of foreign capital who fund other businesses and they started giving discount out of capital, not business. So I have to compete with capital with my own sustainable model. So, but whatever it may be, this challenge we are taking up, and sometimes you have to compromise with the growth. So, so students, I was telling you that that special thing out of your own business, you also build that special skill. You also build from your own business, so that even nobody can beat you about that skill and about that mastery. Like I'm telling you, in CA final examinations, when I was studying, then we need to score more than 50% aggregate, and I was very good in accountancy. So I always keep my calculator on my examination table and used to tell in the entire hall that if I can't secure 90% in accountancy, every else student will fail. So that was my confidence in my own subject. So whatever little it be, you should be master of one. Be general of anything, but one thing you select, and in that you should be the best in your campus. That should be the single purpose. If you can do that, then you are through. So I'm telling you that about ideas, that how you will find that this idea, that idea, and which idea should I select? Should I focus on my own strength? Then I'm telling you that rather than focusing on your own strength, focus on what market needs. What is the need of the market? What is the need of the society? And what is the need of the businesses? And if you are able to focus on that, then if you are not having that skill, develop that skill. So second question is distribution of medicine and medical products come from lot of legal challenges. So, sir, how can one tackle these challenges? Very important question. Distribution of medicine and uh, uh, and distribution of medicine takes legal challenges. So how you solve these legal challenges? So the legal challenges of the distribution, always remember that more the challenges, more your ecosystem has the entry barriers. This is the only thing, the Amazon is not coming, Flipkart is not coming, Reliance is not coming. And if they will come, they will need our help. Because the more challenges, more ecosystem you need to build, more robust system you need to build, which are legally compliant. So we have got mastery into that. We have created all sort of data bank algorithm, a a combination of physical and digital to face these challenges, and we got our strong hands into it, and that has created an anti barrier, and that is what I was talking about, blue ocean. So my blue ocean is that I'm in the area which is highly challenged by legal and which creates a entry barrier for others. So that is how we are managing. In this digital era, we can see many innovative businesses coming into existence, but face tight competition as well. In a situation of price wars, how do you feel self-sustainability can be achieved? This is very, very important. And this I also a very good question, that in a digital era, whatever you do, like we also did a digital pharmacy, then our competitors took lot money capital, they went to the market and disturbed the market. And then this is very important that I can build a great business, great idea, but how I compete with capital. So tomorrow, I am building a business for 3 years, build great team, great product, and tomorrow at fourth year, somebody got funding of a $500 million and he started disturbing the businesses. Then where I go? So I learned from my own thing is that one that when you go to the ideas, then first create that anti barrier of the capital. That sustainability and growth, two are different aspects that I learned from my own experience. So whenever such time comes in, always remember that you compromise on growth and focus on your survival and let the storm pass. So it is like that you are building a you are running a river and that storm is coming into ocean. All any capital, how large it may be, that is easy to raise, but very fast they spend because they don't run their businesses by the ecosystem, but their businesses is being run by the capital. So never worry about capital that is coming, that will go away. Just keep yourself silence mode for 6 months, 8 months. Let your growth be compromised. But if you remain alive, remain in the business, that capital will finish very quickly, very fast, and then you are the masters. They will go for the day. Very important question, very good question, sir. How should one try to build sustainable business in domain that see fast-paced changes and innovation? This sustainable business take time to build, but does one stay ahead of competition in such a scenario? Yes. So you take an example from a human body. That human body changes from time to time. It's like that body also changes, the businesses also changes. So you need to start somewhere then see that how the competition is changing. So suppose you are in a business A and then somebody comes with a newer technology which is far superior and you understand that my body is dead. So bury that. Simple. So I told you that accept death. And once you understand that, you can face that innovation by more innovation, then compete that. But anything which is coming and you understand that technology wise they are superior, their body is more superior, then keep your soul intact and change it. So anything which is coming adversely, acceptance is as equally important as equally is fighting. So I'm telling you some of the businesses which which were India able to build the great businesses which I liked recently. I've been built is one very good study from Eastern India is Bandhan Bank and then how they found their businesses. You must study about that they acted very small in piecemeal manner. They didn't dilute much of the capital. They also faced the similar problem in 2012 when the regulations was tight. Then again COVID-19 again is a challenging phase for them for a lot of NPAs. But these times they become slow. They are not very much aggressive in their growth targets and they become slow. So slowness makes them very sustainable. And then I'm telling you one very good case study which I did particularly is the Imami. Imami is again a company which you will find that was built on self-sustainable model from Calcutta, Eastern India, and in spite of the competition from larger biggies like Lever, like uh, uh, Ponds, some biggest brands in their arena. But how they find, they find their domain, their blue ocean into wall painting. That you will, if you find that in villages, you will find lot of advertisement on walls. At that point of time, newspaper advertisement was very costly, television advertisement was very costly, but the wall painting is always a cheap thing. And people assemble on the wall painting on the tea stall, and there you will find the Imami advertisement. So that is how they developed the low cost model of advertisement. They innovated it and got mastery of it. And that is what Imami built. Very simple, small innovation, but they were able to compete with greater businesses. very good question is Sasasunda planning to expand beyond medicine and ventures into the grocery sector? So, no, as of now, no. We want to remain fully laser focused, as I told you. That focus is very, very important. So we don't want to go to grocery, but yes, wellness and health food is our area. So we want to make our people available everything which is related to health. So any food which is related to health, we will continue to sell and we will expand. But grocery per se, we are not going. Can you tell us more on Health Buddy Store and if Sasasunda plans to expand on a pan India? Yes, Health Buddy Store is a very great innovation uh, in the Indian digital economy, whereby the the physical infrastructure was blended with digital infrastructure. So how this, we took this idea from polio eradication. How polio was eradicated? Polio was eradicated by building local partnership. Healthcare, if you find yourself, your own mindset, your colleagues' mindsets, or your family or your neighbors, you will find that healthcare is a subject matter of trust. It is very, very local. We go to the doctor upon whom we trust. We go to the medicine store upon whom we trust. We give our blood for testing upon whom we trust. Trust is very, very important. And trust by digital takes years' time, where the customer acquisition cost becomes very, very hard. So we created a local partnership whereby each pin code we opened a store. So we wanted to have a personal relationship, but we wanted to take all the benefits of digital economy, whereby the inventory is less, the distribution is cost is very less, the distribution is data driven, the customer is a direct app. So we created this health buddy store. So every pin code has one store which has a retail license and where pharmacy is sitting. So we changed the pharmacy from selling to counseling. So anybody which is coming to the store is given free counseling, prescription is taken and put into the ecosystem. The distribution is happen through online channel only. Next time you can always go to the app. The orders may be repeated on the app or website. So that is how this blend was created to create a uniqueness of digital economy as well as the local personal connection factor. So this is how the health buddy stores is working. Right now, we are already operating in 9 states. One is West Bengal, second is Jharkhand, third is Bihar, Odisha, NCR, Maharashtra, Haryana. So these are the states, and we are already in the process to go pan India. Next 3 years, we will be able to expand our health buddy distribution system pan India. This is a very good question. Good afternoon, sir. Can you please comment on the factors that have led to the immense success of the Indian pharma industry and made India into the pharma hub of the world? Yes, this I was telling you. You see, any medicine last 3 months, you all must study. This is a very brilliant case study that any medicine which has been approved for COVID-19 within 15 days was made available in India for the globe, for entire globe, any medicine. So what is the success behind it? And what is the reason behind it? So, 2, 3 reasons briefly I'll tell you. One reason is that the excise exemption and making huge infrastructure in Himachal Pradesh Bandi. So, the earlier government announced excise benefits for a region Himachal Pradesh, and they lead to massive infrastructure created in Himachal Pradesh Bandi, and that made our factories having huge infrastructure built upon tax incentives and built upon innovations. That is one thing. Second thing is that our love for quality. So Indian pharma companies always made quality companies and they lead to our entry into the US market. And third is that of talent pool. So talent pool is very, very able to make any medicine, to make any formulation quickly and very, very fast. That is how our drug companies are successful or pharma companies are successful. So this is again a very good question. During time of adversity, strong leadership becomes a crucial aspect to keep any business running successfully. What would be your key advice to leaders of tomorrow? During time of adversity, strong leadership become a crucial aspect to keep any business running successfully. What would be your key advice to leaders for tomorrow? For leaders of tomorrow, as I said, you create a ecosystem which is run by your ecosystem, not by leaders. That is very, very important. So your ecosystem, your infrastructure, coupled with your technology, coupled with your supply chain management, coupled with your customer service system, become so integrated with each other that we call the ecosystem. That is the business ecosystem. And once your business ecosystem is running, that will run by itself. So that you don't need to take a decision on daily basis. Your decision will come by your own ecosystem. So 99.99% all problems will be solved by ecosystem itself. That does not lead to going to the problem to the leadership, but the leadership is not to run the businesses and to solve the adversity. Leadership are there to plan for growth. So say myself and my CEO Ravikant Sharma, we don't think about 9 states where we are already operating. Our entire focus is on 23 states where we don't have presence. How to take success in the there. And 9 states, the ecosystem is working very fine. It does not come on our table. So this is very, very important to focus on leaders ecosystem. And ecosystem, the most important point is my value. So one is what are my personal value and what is my core value of the business. That core value of the business should be protected. So leaders should always keep in mind that these are the 4 features which can disturb my core value. So what are those features of core value? You please understand and make a note in your mind. The first feature of your core value is the core value of the business. That what is your value? Like my business core value, Sassa Sundar's core value is the being genuine. Come what may, you will always get material from Sassa Sundar which is genuine. Discount is not my core value. I may compromise on the prices, I can charge higher prices. My customer knows it. But they will get 100% genuine. So you should never compromise on core value. Second thing is the capital allocation. So the business leaders should keep the control of the cash flow. So where the capital will be going, or where the losses will be funded, or where the growth will be needed, that a leader should always keep in mind. And third is the brand. Any communication which you are making to your customers, any communication which you are making to the press, any communication which you are making to your own employees, anything which is going out of your organization which affects your brand should be taken into consideration by the leadership. Brand should be protected because the brand is the mirror of your ecosystem. So the capital, brand, and third is HR. Any employment, I always tell my people that the CEO should be the HR manager. So if you want to be the great leader, always be the HR manager first. All recruitment should be done by HR. And as I told you that be child, every employee should be your brother and sisters. Everybody in Sassan that tells me, Bhaiya, I attend every marriage of them. I am being part and parcel of their family. Their family members knows me well. I knows them well. हम सुख दुख के सब साथी हैं. If that culture is developed as emotionally connect, they will not bother for 10%, 15%. Nobody can break them. So always that emotional connect you build with your employees. This is very important question. Thank you, sir, for the enriching session. I wanted to ask you, what degree upcoming healthcare players are leveraging emerging technologies like AI, ML to provide optimal solution at the same that making sure that development costs are not making a significant dent in the company's bottom line. Very, very important. So I tell you from my perspective, there are 2 parts of an ecosystem. One part is that will take some amount of time, and one part is that is needed today to generate the cash flow. So right now, like Sassa Sundar, we generate cash flow out of selling medicine and buying medicine. Artificial intelligence or any other technology is not contributing to the revenue, nor it contributing to the profitability. But that is very, very important for future because the ecosystem which we are building there is a key objective of the ecosystem is to make the supply chain data driven. The data driven supply chain eliminates any sort of fake medicine distribution, and it creates patient records. Then, how the patient records is important, I tell you. Suppose a person is buying diabetic medicine from me, then I too have his diabetic data with me. So I can track that where the medicine is taking him. I can prevent him from the complication. I can tell him that these things you are doing wrong, these things you are doing right. And I can create his entire ecosystem of health monitoring, which is very robust and which is AI driven. But that may take some amount of time. And I need to continue invest. Here I must decide, and I tell you, in Indian ecosystem, this is the benefit which we all have. Here the development cost is very low. The more cost, if you see the Flipkart or Big Basket or any other company which is built, even Sasta Sundar, the 90% cost is going into marketing, and hardly 5-10% cost is going into the development. Any big step, it takes only 5 to 10% of your capital allocation towards development of the technology. So that technology you need to build for your future. So you are a future ready organization, and then try to generate revenue which is a low hanging fruit, because without revenue you can't grow. Without sales and purchase you can't grow, make the data, and once you don't have the data, your AI technology will not work. So the practical solution is that invest certain part of the capital into development of future ready technology, and then cut the low hanging fruit and build your revenue, so that your data is ready, your backbone is ready, and once you don't know which feature will be liked by the customer, which are not liked, which feature will be useful or which feature will not be useful. So focus on the things which are useful, and your ecosystem evolve which is useful or which is not. During the COVID crisis, most of the MSME segment organizations suffered a hit in their business operation. Taking a lesson from this, how do you think should a small scale business formulate the risk management strategy and be prepared for such crisis, knowing the fact that they cannot invest along for the same? Very important. And I understand the deep pain by MSME, because I also come from the MSME family. And I tell you, this is a very painful time. But again, I tell you that this happens once in 100 years, and it is not just because of COVID, but from last 2 years, that pain is going on in the global market, particularly in India. And the main reason of this MSME trouble is the shifting of the business uh, from unorganized to organized. So part of the digital payment, you can say, part of the e-commerce heavy discounting policies, you can say, and uh, part of the transparency, you can say, heavy cutthroat competition, you can say, and part of that lacking of unique preposition. So 10 MSMEs are running a factory, one bigger factory comes by, and they all fall into trouble. So the only solution for MSME is to create partnership. So they need to understand that either we create a partnership with bigger player in the same area, or we create partnership among ourselves. So they need to learn to work with each other and to create some scale, because lower scale the days are over. So if you find in developed countries, the shopkeepers close their shop, they become part of the larger chain, or they become themselves big. So 5-10 MSMEs need to sit together, they need to work together and to create a sustainable business. So mutual understanding, and I tell you, in India, these businessmen are very cooperative and very powerful, very courageous. They will solve this. You don't worry about this. What should be our strategy to attract investment for our companies, particularly regarding finding sources of investment and how to successfully pitch to them? Also, due to the COVID-19, many startup companies are facing a severe capital crunch. How should we protect our companies from such a situation? So, what should be our strategy to attract investment for our companies? The only strategy to attract investment is to create sustainable business. If we have a good business, even at this point of time, lot of investments are changing. So the investment and investment capital, I never find any problem. The problem is they're creating a sustainable business. So if we have a sustainable good business, You will find the investors. If you don't have sustainable business, be it COVID or not, one has to close down. And that is happening. COVID is just a region. No good and sustainable business is closing due to COVID. They'll get capital, they'll need base. But the COVID may expose some of the companies which create more noises and less businesses. So more noise, less business companies will close down. It is better if they don't detect, they don't get investors. So they should close down. Unnecessary noises also create problem for MSME. Hi, sir. How does Sasta Sundar as an organization maintain supply relationships so that the customer face minimum stock out? Very good question. So the supply relationship is buy supplies regularly, pay them quickly, and sell their products in large quantities. That is what Sasta Sundar is doing. So we buy them in a large quantity, pay them very quickly, and give order again and again. Everybody loves their customers. We are their customers. If we are good customers, paying them at right time, buying in huge quantity, they love us. That is how we are maintaining. There is no need of maintaining relationship. There is need to purchase and make payment. So this is what I need to say. I am happy to answer all your questions. So if anything else I can answer, but that is it. That is all I need to say about Atmanirbhar self-sustainable business. So this is all.
Sure, sir. So thank you for such an enlightening session. Your insights on the practical implementation of being Atmanirbhar, building a self-sustainable business model, collaborating with others for promoting new areas of growth without the actual purpose being diluted were really new for us. Your views on always keeping balance in resources, having core values for the business, and the need to think big and act small are sure to stay a long way with us. It was a great opportunity to learn from your experiences, and we are extremely grateful to you for sparing your invaluable time to interact with us. We look forward to similar such engagements in the future. We hope that this will be the start of a long lasting relationship with you and your organization. And thank you once again for such an inspiring session.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel great delighted. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.